Oh, boy, this is a day of regrouping and strategy changes on the campaign trail. In fact, you can only imagine behind closed doors what campaign strategists are doing with all of their candidates, because you've got Donald Trump boycotting the Fox News debate tomorrow. The remaining candidates are seeing this on balance as an opportunity to speak more directly to voters just 4 days before the first votes of the election are cast. Trump's closest competitor, Senator Ted Cruz, wasted no time making his case.
I think anyone running for president of the United States owes it to the people of Iowa to have the humility to come in front of you, to make the case, to answer the hard questions, to look you in the eyes. This is a job interview. The President of the United States works for each and every one of you.
Let's bring in former Republican Congressman from Michigan, Pete Hoekstra, and former Democratic Congressman from Ohio, Dennis Kucinich, who worked for both of you, for the people, for many years. Trump withdraws from the debate. Is this a stroke of genius or a major misstep? Pete Hoekstra, to you first.
Well, I think from Donald Trump's point of view, it fits his narrative. He is the unconventional candidate. What he's saying here is, if I see a bad deal, I'm going to walk away from it. I'm walking away from this debate, and I'm going to fight for myself just like I'm going to fight for America when I see a bad deal. The real question is picking a fight with Fox News and not appearing in front of the Iowa voters. Is that a good deal or not? I think there's a big question there. I think Ted Cruz has very articulately articulated the alternative narrative there. But this fits Donald's narrative.
Dennis, he's not the only one who's articulated that. Let's listen to what Ben Carson said on Fox Business today.
Hopefully they'll be able to focus on everybody rather than a specific candidate. That's going to help quite a bit. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, as you saw in the last debate, I'm a little more aggressive. I'm going to get even more aggressive this time.
Dennis Kucinich, I think that was a veiled swipe where he said, you know, we'll get an opportunity versus listening to one candidate. Donald Trump sucked a lot of oxygen out of the room. Yes, ratings and high interest, certainly when he's there. Does this turn on or turn off voters in Iowa?
Well, you know, if I was advising Donald Trump, I would tell him, look, you've got this. Close the deal. Show up. Show Iowa you want their support. And you're off to the races after Iowa. But if he doesn't show up, he risks stepping on his own narrative of being a unifier. And I think the timing is really bad for him in not showing up.
What's he afraid of?
I don't know that Donald Trump is afraid of anything. I think that he would much rather have a different kind of debate format with one person notably absent. But look, if you're going to be president of the United States, and he very well could be, I mean, he is certainly showing a lot of popular support, this is a small matter compared to the Iowa caucus and the presidential contest.
Well,
so I'm hopeful that he'll reconsider.
I ask what he's afraid of, Pete, because a new Pew poll out today shows that voters believe that on the GOP side, Trump is the least religious. Now, for those of us who like separation of church and state, we wouldn't care about that. But there are people in Iowa who actually do. Is he afraid of some question, and we don't know what the questions would have been, but, oh, can you recite this part of the Bible, or how many times do you go to church, or how do you really feel about abortion? Maybe he didn't want to answer those questions, is at least one theory.
That may be your theory. I think it's wrong. I agree with Dennis. I don't think Donald Trump is afraid of those kinds of questions coming forward. I think what Mr. Trump is doing is, rather than hitting a single, which is what he would have done if he would have been at the debate, he would have played it safe. I think he's going for a much riskier strategy and hoping that it's a breakout strategy that he can dominate the Iowa caucuses rather than just narrowly winning or perhaps finishing second. He's taken the riskier strategy.
Dennis, we got to go, but I need to ask you about Bernie Sanders. He met with the president just a couple of hours ago. He came out, he answered questions to a huge media gaggle that was there. Sanders, what do you think? What's his velocity here?
In Iowa, very powerful. He's surging. If his supporters show up on the night of the caucus, you might find an extraordinary surprise coming out of Iowa. But we'll see. It all is going to depend on turnout.
So true, as it always does. So if there's a huge snowstorm, who knows? We've seen that before. Former Congressman Dennis Kucinich, former Congressman Pete Hoekstra, lovely to see you both. Tune into